Thanks for joining us. I'm Berita RTM and you're watching News at 10. Our headlines for tonight. Flash floods strike federal capital. Malaysia's banking sector on right path to realise country's aspiration. Flash floods have struck several areas of the federal capital this evening following heavy rains. The Malaysian Highway Authority in a Facebook posting confirmed that the flash floods affected several major routes in the capital. The routes affected are the Basraya Expressway, involving routes from the city centre to Salak Selatan, from Kuchai to Salak Jaya, and from Kampung Malaysia to Kuchai. In addition, flash floods on the Kesas Highway also resulted in 4 lanes being closed at the Awan Besar Toll Plaza in the route heading towards the west, and only 1 lane is passable at kilometre 48.3 in the route heading eastward towards the Sukhom Junction. Flash floods also caused the closure of the Smart Tunnel, involving the tunnel entrance from Taman Desa and Cheras towards the city centre, as well as the tunnel exit from the city centre towards Cheras. National Disaster Management Agency NADMA, in confirming the matter, also informed that several areas such as Jalan Sultan Ismail and Jalan Ampang, Jalan Lembok Ampang, Jalan Raja Laut, Jalan Kia Peng and Jalan Raja Chula were also affected. The agency also said several rivers exceeding the warning level, namely Sungai Batu in Sentul, Sungai Kelang at the Sulaiman Bridge, Leboh Pasar, and Sungai Gombak at Jalan Parlimen, while Sungai Gombak at Jalan Tun Razak has exceeded the danger level. The Malaysian Meteorological Department issued a thunderstorm warning at 1:35 p.m. this afternoon, with heavy rain and strong winds expected in several areas, namely Kuala Selangor, Hulu Selangor, Klang, Gombak, Petaling, Kuala Langat, Hulu Langat and Sepang. Malaysia, through the National Vaccine Development Roadmap (PPVN), is developing a new method for administering vaccine through oral and nasal spray. Deputy Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation Moodys, Dato' Ahmad Amzad Hashim, in the Parliament today said the method is being studied carefully for people who have a fear of needle. Dato' Ahmad Amzad also said PPVN will not only be focusing on the development of COVID-19 vaccines, it is also working on the country's capability of developing vaccine for local human disease.
Giat mengambil tindakan mengikut perancangan yang seperti berikut. Pertama, mewujudkan pejabat pengurusan projek pembangunan vaksin Malaysia (MVPO) bagi menjayakan perancangan di dalam Pelan Hala 7 pembangunan vaksin dan menyelesaikan isu-isu yang berkaitan pembangunan vaksin.
Johor Health Department has assured voters to not feel afraid to come out and vote for the 15th Johor State election. Its Chief Assistant Director of Control and Prevention of Infectious Diseases, Dr. Lili Rafidah Muhammad Zaki, gave her assurance that authorities will have taken all measures possible to ensure the safety and health aspect of the people. Explaining further, Dr. Lili Rafidah said Johor has the highest vaccination rate and more than 52% of its adult population have taken their booster shots. She added the Ministry of Health and the Election Commission have worked together on formulating the SOP to ensure the safety and health of voters throughout the voting session. Currently, most of COVID-19 cases reported in the state were asymptomatic or mild symptoms, and less than 1% of the cases identified were in Category 3, 4 and 5. Coming up next, national poverty line to be amended by early next year. Malaysia's banking sector is on the right path to realise the country's aspiration, especially as it is undergoing transformation and significant changes. Finance Minister Tengku Datuk Seri Zafrul Tunku Abdul Aziz said, Malaysia, which is located strategically at the heart of the Southeast Asian region, has the highest living standard.
Indeed, at the heart of all this is our recently launched financial sector blueprint for the period 2022 to 2026. This blueprint details strategies that will be critical for the financial sector to navigate upcoming challenges and opportunities, and a key enabler for the economic goals outlined under the 12th Malaysia Plan. Ultimately, the blueprint will realize Malaysia's goal of a more prosperous, inclusive and sustainable Malaysia.
He said this in his speech at the official opening of the new HSBC Malaysia head office in the nation's capital today. He added the action plan will realize Malaysia's goal of heading towards a more prosperous, inclusive and sustainable nation. However, the minister noted that the road ahead is not without a risk as uncertainty persists due to the ongoing COVID-19 resurgence, prolonged supply bottlenecks and the Russia-Ukraine conflicts. The country's poverty line, PGK, will be revised and is expected to be amended by the first quarter of 2023. Minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Economy, Datuk Seri Mustafa Muhammad, confirmed the matter during the sitting of parliamentary session today. He said the Statistics Department will revise the poverty rate in the PGK used currently, which is 2,208 ringgit, and hardcore poor 1,169 ringgit for each household. Speaking in Parliament, he added that the government in the 12th Malaysia Plan is committed to banish the poverty issue with an average income of 1,169 ringgit through a holistic and comprehensive approach. The poverty rate in Malaysia changed drastically over the course of 5 decades due to rapid economic development as well as the new economy policy.
Kadar kemiskinan mutlak peringkat nasional turun daripada 49.3% tahun 70 kepada 5.6% pada tahun 2019. Kadar miskin di bandar turun daripada 21.3% kepada 3.8% dalam tempoh yang sama. Manakala kadar kemiskinan luar bandar turun daripada 58.7% kepada 12.4%.
The Cost-Benefit Analysis CBA for the ratification of the Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership CPTPP has been completed in February 2022 and would be presented to the Cabinet in the near future. Senior Minister for International Trade and Industry MITI Datuk Seri Azmin Ali said the CBA document recommended appropriate solutions to address any issues or costs that may arise as a result of the implementation of the CPTPP. In a reply to a supplementary question from Bukit Bendera MP Wong Hon Wai, Datuk Seri Azmin said so far, 9 of the 14 acts at the federal level related to CPTPP have been tabled and approved in Parliament.
Kalau baki 5 lagi akta yang masih perlu dipinda dan diluluskan di dalam Parlimen adalah seperti berikut: Akta Kerja 1955, Akta Kesatuan Sekerja 1959, Ordinan Buruh Sabah Bab 67, Ordinan Buruh Sarawak Bab 76 dan Akta Komunikasi dan Multimedia 1998.
According to him, MITI also planned to hold engagement sessions with related stakeholders to share the findings of CBA to ensure all stakeholders clearly understand Malaysia's rights and obligations under the CPTPP. Moodys Analytics projected that Malaysia's outlook is tentatively optimistic as the domestic economy has largely reopened and restrictions are unlikely to be reinstated despite the Omicron wave. In its Asia-Pacific Economic Preview note today, Moodys said geopolitical trends were working in Malaysia's favour. In addition, Moodys Analytics said Ukraine exports more of the world's sunflower oil and importers are looking at other edible oils, such as palm oil, to make up for the squeeze in supplies. As the world's second-largest producer of palm oil, it said Malaysia will benefit from the upstick in prices, especially if it manages to ease its labour shortage. Moodys Analytics noted that the semiconductor sector, which was already affected by a shortage, was facing an additional setback as crucial materials were exported mainly by Russia and Ukraine. It said Malaysia has been benefiting from the increased global demand for its electrical exports and would likely to be insulated from the shortage because of its stockpile of raw materials. Datuk Seri Najib Tun Razak and former One Malaysia Development Berhad 1MDB Chief Executive Officer Alkanda Kandasami's audit tampering hearing scheduled for today at the Kuala Lumpur High Court has been postponed to 28th March as the former Prime Minister's lead counsel is currently not in the country. Deputy Public Prosecutor Muhammad Mustafa P. Kunyalam, who confirmed the matter, said Tan Sri Muhammad Shafi'i Abdullah will only be back from London tomorrow and has to be under self-quarantine for 5 days. The prosecutor said that the trial dates were also vacated this week, as Arul Kanda's counsel Dato' N. Sivanathan has other court matters to attend to. Today's proceedings were conducted before High Court Deputy Registrar Catherine Nicholas due to the above matters. It was reported that Tan Sri Muhammad Shafi'i went to London to meet a prospective Queen's Counsel QC to represent Datuk Seri Najib in his appeal to quash his conviction and sentencing in the 42 million ringgit SRC international case. When the hearing resumes, former 1MDB Chairman Tan Sri Muhammad Baki Saleh, 67, is expected to continue with his testimony. Datuk Seri Najib, 68, is charged with using his position to order amendments to the 1MDB final audit report before it was presented to the Public Accounts Committee to avoid any action being taken against him, while Arul Kanda, 45, is charged with abetting Datuk Seri Najib in making the amendments to the report to protect Datuk Seri Najib from being subjected to action. The Kuala Lumpur High Court was told today that Datuk Seri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi had instructed his former Senior Fabric Secretary to issue a cover letter to extend the implementation period of the Foreign Visa System (VLN) and e-visa to Ultra Kerana Sdn Bhd UKSB for 6 years from 2019 to 2025. Ninth witness, Datuk Muhammad Khair Razman Muhammad Anwar, who is now Deputy Secretary General of Operations, Ministry of Human Resources, said he was instructed by the former Deputy Prime Minister to issue the letter dated 14 February 2017 to the Home Ministry Secretary General. Datuk Muhammad Khair, 56, said Datuk Seri Dr. Ahmad Zahid also instructed him to issue 2 more cover letters to the Home Ministry Secretary General dated 16 May and 16 June 2017. He said the cover letter dated 16 May 2017 was for an application to extend the implementation period of the One Stop Centre OSC service contract for the visa facilitation services in China for 6 years. For the cover letter dated 16 June 2017, it was on the proposed extensions of the implementation period of the OSC service contract for visa facilitation services in China for 3 years from 15 May 2018 to 2021. Meanwhile, 8 witness Dato' Abdul Halim Muhammad, 55, said he had assigned a cover letter dated 24th October 2016 regarding the application for approval to extend the VLN and e-visa contracts for a period of 6 years to UKSB. The hearing before Judge Dato' Muhammad Yazid Mustafa continues tomorrow. The top doubles shuttlers Aaron Shia and So Woo Yik at the worst possible time. The duo had to withdraw from the German Open starting tomorrow as Woo Yik has been tested positive for COVID-19. However, they are still hoping to make it to the All England in Birmingham next week. Badminton Association of Malaysia BAM in the statement said the 24-year-old is asymptomatic and in good condition. BAM said Wuyik is currently observing self-isolation in accordance with the Health Ministry, Youth and Sports Ministry, as well as the National Sports Council protocol on quarantine. It said that BAM's coaching and medical teams will continue to monitor his recovery process before deciding on his participation at the All England scheduled to take place from 16 to 20th March in Birmingham. In a statement, added that everyone at BAM wishes Wuyik a speedy recovery. The Tokyo 2020 Olympics bronze medalist Aaron and Wuyik were drawn against compatriots Kovi Sherm and Lo Juan-shen in the German Open first round. The world number 7 Aaron and Wuyik, who were seeded second in the tournament, had been expected to reach the final. Teenager Aliya Young is all set to restart her water skiing career after a 2-year pause due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The 18-year-old, who last competed in the 2020 Moomba Masters in Melbourne, Australia, before the pandemic halted all water skiing activities, left for Down Under yesterday to compete in the 2022 edition of the championships from 9 to 14th March. Aliya, who was recently awarded the Yayasan Sangdabi Star Scholarship Award, is one of the world's top-ranked water skiers invited to the week-long Moomba event, which coincides with the annual Moomba Festival. The Malaysian, who made her debut in the 2013 Moomba Masters at the tender age of 9, is set to compete in the tricks, slalom and jump events in both the junior and open categories. That's it from us this evening. In our top story, flash floods strike federal capital, major routes affected. Join us for updates at noon at 12:30 tomorrow. I'm Shohaida Arifin. Salam Keluarga Malaysia. Thank you for watching.